Earlier in the week, we talked about adding and subtracting fractions with the same denominator. And we said that when you're adding two fractions with the same denominator, like 3/5 plus 1/5, you add the numerators. 3 plus 1 is 4. And you don't change your denominator. Because when we're adding 3/5, 1/5 to 3/5, we're not changing the size of the pieces. Each piece is divided into 5. We're just adding one more of those same size pieces in. Now, the next thing we need to talk about is adding and subtracting fractions with different denominators. So there's a couple extra steps that we need to do because we need to find the common denominator. So if I gave you a fraction like 1/6 plus 3/8, we need to figure out what the lowest common denominator is. One way to do that is to think of the multiples of 8 and the multiples of 6, because we're trying to find a denominator that both 8 and 6 will divide into. So let's think of the multiples of 8. 8 times 1 is 8. 6 doesn't divide into that evenly. 8 times 2 is 16. 6 doesn't divide into that evenly. 8 times 3 is 24. We know that 6 times 4 equals 24, so we can rewrite these fractions with a denominator of 24. Now we have our common denominator. The next thing we need to do is, because we changed the numerators from 6 and 8 to a common denominator of 24, we need to change the numerators as well. This is where equivalent fractions come into play. So we think, what did we multiply 6 by to get 24? 6 times 4 is 24, so to make an equivalent fraction, we need to multiply 1 by 4 as well. And 1 times 4 is 4. Do the same thing on the other side. We multiplied 8 by 3 to get 24, so we need to multiply 3 by 3 to get an answer of 9. Now I have two fractions with a common denominator. So now we're just going to follow the rules that we used earlier in the week. The denominator stays 24, and we add our numerators. 4 plus 9 is 13. Do a quick check. See if your answer is in lowest terms. There's nothing that will divide into 13 and 24, so it is in lowest terms. It's a proper fraction. So 1/6 plus 3/8 equals 13 over 24. Now there's a second way that we could do this. With the second way, you don't have to find the lowest common denominator, and you don't have to make equivalent fractions. It's kind of a shortcut. So we're going to look at the same two numbers. 1/6 plus 3/8. In this way, there's a lot of multiplying involved, but you don't have to think about that common denominator. So you think 6 times 8 is 48. That's what your denominator is. 1 times 8 is 8. 6 times 3 is 18. I'm going to add 8 plus 18. After I write both of those numbers as the numerator. So 8 plus 18 equals 26 over 48. That's my answer, but I have to realize that I need to reduce it now. I can take both parts of that fraction and divide it by 2. 26 divided by 2 is 13. 48 divided by 2 is 24. So just a different way of answering the question, but I still get the same answer, 13 over 24. Subtracting fractions, same thing. We can say, let's do 4/5 minus 1/3. To find your common denominator, think of the multiples of 5. 5 times 1 is 5. We know 3 doesn't go into that. 5 times 2 is 10. 3 doesn't go into that. 5 times 3 is 15. We know 3 will go into 15. So 15 is our lowest common denominator for 5 and 3. Now we look at our numerators. To get from 5 to 15, we multiplied 5 by, 3. So we have to multiply 4 by the same thing. Same thing. 4 threes are 12. To go from 3 to 15, we multiplied 3 by 5. 1 times 5 is 5. Now, since we have a common denominator, we can subtract. 12 take away 5 is 7. Our denominator stays 15. It's a proper fraction. It's in lowest terms, so the answer is 7/15. If we want to do this the other way, we're going to start with the same fraction, 4/5 minus 1/3. Multiply the denominators. 5 times 3 is 15. Now for this one, it's really important that we do that multiplying first. We have to start with the first numerator and multiply it by the second denominator. 4 times 3 is 12 minus 5 times 1 is 5. 12 take away 5 is 7 over 15. Don't have to reduce it, and we ended up with the same answer.